Spring has sprung and it's time for spring cleaning, which means it's finally time to store away your winter clothes. From washing to storage, we will guide you through the art of caring for your garments. Let's begin. First, let's decipher the symbols on the care label. We will start with the symbols for washing. A plain wash tub means machine washable. 2 lines underneath indicate a delicate cycle. The number on the wash tub symbol is the recommended water temperature in degrees Celsius. A hand in the tub denotes hand wash, while a crossed out tub means do not wash. Sometimes you may come across symbols like these with dots instead of numbers. 1 dot suggests low temperature or 30 degrees Celsius. 2 dots medium or 40 degrees Celsius, and 3 or more dots mean high temperature, typically 50 or above. Moving on to dry cleaning, it's usually represented by a circle. A plain circle means dry clean only, while a circle with a cross indicates do not dry clean. Bleaching instructions are denoted by a triangle. A plain triangle allows bleaching, 2 lines inside suggests non-chlorine bleach, and a crossed out triangle means do not bleach. Now on to drying symbols represented by a square. A square with a circle inside that resembles a dryer unit means it permits tumble drying, with dots indicating temperature settings. As mentioned earlier, 1 dot implies low heat, 2 dots medium, and 3 or more dots mean high temperature. A crossed out symbol means do not tumble dry. For air drying, a semicircle inside a square that looks like a clothesline means hang to dry. A horizontal line means flat dry, and 3 vertical lines indicate drip dry, or in other words, hang it when it's still dripping wet. Finally, ironing symbols. A plain iron symbol permits ironing with temperature indicated by dots or degrees Celsius, and the last one means do not use steam. Now that we know how to decode the symbols, let's take a look at the washing process. Never store clothes without washing and drying them first. This prevents moth and fungus damage and also avoids discoloration from deodorant or sweat residue on light-colored clothes. First, determine how often to wash. Only wash when necessary, considering what the garment is made of. Wool stays fresh longer between washes compared to cotton or synthetics. Also think about how it's used. Items like workout clothes or underwear need more frequent washing. Washing frequency varies depending on how close to your skin the garment is worn. For example, your merino wool base layer, even though made of wool, will need washing more frequently than the wool sweater that is usually worn as a mid-layer. Your wool coat stays fresh even longer as it doesn't come in contact with sweat and body oils. If you decide not to wash, air them out after each wear. Decide between washing or dry cleaning. Dry cleaning every item with a label recommendation can lead to your dry cleaning bill skyrocketing. Some items labeled dry clean without the word only can still be washed carefully at home. Always check for colorfastness before washing. To test colorfastness, dab a hidden spot of the garment with a damp cloth or Q-tip and apply a small amount of detergent. If the color bleeds, take it to the cleaners. When machine washing natural fibers like wool, linen or silk with their labels saying delicate wash or dry clean, it's always safe to use cold water. It's the combination of heat and agitation that causes the shrinking, so make sure to choose the delicate cycle with low or no spin. Turn clothes inside out and use a mesh laundry bag for delicates. After washing, gently squeeze out water. For hand washing, fill a basin with cold water and add a small amount of gentle detergent or baby shampoo. Submerge the garment and gently stir it to loosen dirt. Allow it to soak for a few minutes before rinsing thoroughly with cool running water. Avoid wringing the garment as this can damage delicate fibers. Instead, gently press out excess water by rolling the garment in a clean towel and pressing down lightly. Now, let's discuss the process of drying your clothes. Unless your garment's care label specifically states that it can be tumble dried, opt for air drying. You can use a padded hanger to hang the garment in a well-ventilated area or drape it over the bathtub to drip dry. It's important to avoid hanging colored items in direct sunlight, as prolonged exposure can lead to fading. For knitted garments like sweaters, line drying or drying on hangers can cause them to stretch under the weight of moisture, resulting in the garment losing its shape. To preserve their shape and integrity, air-dry knitted garments flat on a lint-free white towel. Those tiny lint balls on your sweaters, also called fabric pills, can be removed using a fabric shaver like this. These are quite cheap on Amazon and are very useful. When ironing, if the care label advises against ironing, refrain from doing so. Instead, opt for steaming as the safest alternative. Delicate fabrics like silk are particularly prone to burning, so always spot test and use a lower temperature or the appropriate setting for the fabric. Before ironing, turn the item inside out and iron it while still slightly damp to ease out wrinkles. For garments with only light wrinkles, place a 100% cotton press cloth between your iron and the fabric to prevent direct heat contact. Avoid applying too much pressure while ironing, as this can cause the surface of the fabric to become shiny. Once ironed, ensure that your garment is completely dry before hanging it in the closet or storing it away to prevent the growth of mold and mildew. When it's time to store away your seasonal clothes for an extended period, moisture and insects become your top enemies. Moths particularly love to feast on natural fibers, so it's essential to take precautions. Avoid using cardboard boxes for storage, especially in areas prone to moisture and insects, like garages, unfinished basements, or attics. Fabric or canvas bins are breathable and are often recommended, but these can be expensive and moths can still eat through them. Plastic bins are better in preventing humidity and moths from reaching your precious garments. Throw a couple of lavender or cedar anti-moth sachets inside. Adding silica crystals will help absorb moisture. Be mindful not to overpack the bins and occasionally open them to allow for ventilation and to check for any signs of damage. Avoid storing fur with cedar, as cedar draws out moisture, potentially drying out the fibers. Instead, opt for sachets of lavender. Instead of hanging, fold your knitted items to retain their shape during storage. Additionally, wrapping clothes in tissue paper can prevent yellowing and snagging on zippers of other garments. And there you have it. With these expert tips on caring for your clothes, you can increase your garment's longevity. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more tips and inspirations. See you soon.